Hey guys, it is Adam aka Marf, and we have a crazy update. This is absolutely insane. This is going to be extremely short. We're going to go over what is going on with Ukraine. Very, very strange stuff. So we'll be right back right after this. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. So, very insane things are happening, and I'll tell you exactly why here in a second. But first off, nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. Blah, blah, blah. The internet is full of fake news, so take everything with a grain of salt. Today, it's pretty backed up. Everything that we have here is on the website. If you want to check my work, then make sure to go over to marfooglenews.com. You'll see that we actually have this thumbnail on the website, and when you just click on that, you'll get all of the links for today's show. That link will be down in the description. Again, that will be right there in the description. Just make sure to click that, and you'll get every video, every tweet, every document that we show you here today. Tonight, we're going to be going over something incredibly special. But first off, I want to let you guys know something big just went down or is about to go down, and I'll tell you why I think so. First off, though, my last probably 10 videos have not had Dex in them. If you are not familiar, Dex is usually my co-host on our live shows. He is an extremely respected person in the community, as far as, and he has been very high up in tech companies and things like this, and he is joining me right now. Dex, what is going on? How are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine. Glad to be on one of the short shows.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, this will be short, so you won't need much of an attention span for this. So we wanted to update you on kind of what was going on with Ukraine. So what is going to be popping out is probably going to be put more places than what happened in the first place. Just to catch you up, was up to 150,000 troops along Ukraine's border. Now some very strange things have happened, and I don't know. I have a really uneasy feeling about this, especially now. If you remember, I told you that our source said that other countries were stepping in and offering money, basically saying anything they could to try to de-escalate things there. Now, I have a few theories, and one of them might be actually, that some of that worked. That they said that basically it was extremely like they were begging. Other countries were coming in and even offering money in place of Ukraine, saying basically that they would pay this or do some sort of deal with them to save Ukraine from going through all this. There's another thing that was going on that was Navalny. Dex, now, again, basically they were threatened if Navalny, of course, the anti-Putin critic, ended up passing away on his hunger strike. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. If he does, like if anything happened to him, there was basically the push from our side to say, hey, we'll do more to you. We will respond if you do that. So don't let anything happen to this guy. So that was and that was right on the heels of us putting sanctions down over the Ukraine and over other issues that had gone on with Russia.
Okay, and then we also covered that they have placed military hospitals. They have built a forward operating base I would say about 50 to 100 miles away from Ukraine's border. So they have satellite photos. In fact, here is one of them. These are the vehicles, right? So they have also, at the same time, closed down one of their major straits, which, since 2019, they have changed rules with that strait, basically said that all international ships have to give 45 days notice before they even come through. Lots of strange things have been going on with kind of their strait there. But they have closed that, and they say that part is part of a military exercise. They are keeping it closed. Dex, are we correct when we say that it is closed until fall?
Yeah, it was all the way till fall, and they were saying it was a major military exercise that they were going to do through the fall, and they wanted that entire area restricted to only their military ships and official ships.
Then we also covered that they were moving nuclear-capable vehicles and remote-operated vehicles, remote-operated drones. They had, of course, jets, fighters, boomers, all sorts of things along this border of Ukraine. At the same time, just a few days ago, they actually accused the USA of having research labs all along the border. We can actually, again, you can go and check our work on that on our site. So that came from official sources in Russia. That's what they were saying. Then, of course, we had this big buildup. They said that there was less troops, and then they ended up saying, okay, well, we underestimated, and now there's more and more. They did not believe the number of 150,000, and then more sources came out and said, yes, there is 150. It's actually way more than we thought. Now this happens. Now, this is a trick.
And before that, just one more thing to add. Just yesterday, Putin was saying there's a red line, don't cross it, right? And just that same day, the president in the Ukraine was saying, we're going. We'll take it all the way to the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably some of the harshest words in this whole exchange, right? And now they're going to pull back, they say, their troops by May 1st, but they're leaving their vehicles, including those nuclear-capable remote-operated vehicles. Which I just wonder, why would you take your human beings away from that line, but leave all of your vehicles? And why would you leave that strait closed, which would be a way for anybody to get close to you? Now, it says Russia's defense minister said troops would withdraw from the area by May 1st, citing a training exercise that had ended. But the plan includes leaving behind some armored vehicles. This is very strange. This is the same man that was just totally flip-flopped. It says, out of Moscow, Russia's defense ministry ordered a partial pullback, and it says partial, and every wording of this says that a exercise ended, and they are pulling back the exercise, part of the exercise, and they're still keeping the other exercise closed, which is the strait. Why are they doing that? Now, as far as 3-4 years ago, they were predicting that this strait, the strait by Russia, was going to be a huge part of them taking plans into the next step. In fact, they have predicted, and experts and analysts have said, that the next land grab would not actually be an ex-Soviet land like Ukraine, but would actually be European. They say that they are posturing and setting up for some sort of European land grab. And it says that they ordered a partial pullback of troops from the border with Ukraine on Thursday, signaling a possible de-escalation in a military standoff that has raised alarm with a new conflict in Europe could be looming. It says that the order came a day after President Vladimir Putin, in an annual State of the Nation address, rattled off a list of grievances against Western nations, including threats of new sanctions. Mr. Putin warned against crossing a Russian red line. With additional pressure on Moscow, the huge buildup on the Ukrainian border was in place while he spoke. That mobilization had increasingly worried the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, aka NATO, European capitals, and Washington has been seen as an early foreign policy challenge for the admin. It says that the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, who had called the buildup a test of Russian military readiness, said that the units deployed to the border area had shown their capabilities and now returned to their regular positions. What changed between yesterday and today? I have no idea. It does give credence to the fact that they had all of these guys trying to beg and step in place. But I am not one to just immediately forget about this. In fact, they are leaving all of their remote capable. We have just covered how they now are boasting that they have an entire force of vehicles that can be run without humans there, especially the ones that are nuclear capable. Now, if you had 150,000 people within range of, say, something like a nuke, you'd probably want to get them away from that, because those are 150,000 good troops. That's just one thought I had. But if they are truly pulling back, what in the world did they do? And now, just now, they changed this, and they said it could be an exercise. What do you think, Dex?
Total about face. Like, oh, guess what? We're just kidding. It's an exercise. We're going home now. What? Yesterday you were on the, you were foaming at the mouth. and now it's just an exercise, right?
What just changed?
Or is this just a signal to say, yeah, don't worry, everything's fine, we're going home, but in reality, we're only sending home the ones that were included in the exercise, but a large number weren't in the exercise.
Trying to get
maybe there's just a small number that are going home.
Trying to get attention off of it currently, or did something happen to Navalny, which is going to draw world attention? If Navalny, of course, there's all these different groups in all these different countries that are saying, you know, if Navalny dies, this guy that they told him that you have to keep this guy alive.
And his doctors today told him you've got to end the hunger strike. They're begging him, his own doctors.
So, again, I wonder if we're going to see news of Navalny's passing, and then maybe Russia doesn't want multiple things going on at once. I don't know. But at the same time, we have multiple kind of blackouts in information about what is actually going on with the Taiwan area. They're even saying that a lot of this is not getting reported. So one thing I want to go over, and especially we're going to talk about this again, it says Pentagon investigated suspected Russian-directed attacks on U.S. troops. It says defense officials have briefed congressional committees on the use of mysterious weapon against American service members. The Pentagon has briefed top lawmakers on intelligence surrounding suspected directed energy attacks against U.S. troops, and officials identified Russia as a likely culprit, according to two people with direct knowledge of the matter. This also sets up for the fact that we're going to see public cases where they go, yes, this was a direct. And remember, just a few years back, people were removed for saying that it even existed. Now, of course, DOD on our side has come out and said that they are using it in space and that they have weaponized space, and now they are now using it possibly against the U.S. Who would have saw that coming, right?
And we just reported not too long ago, maybe a year ago, they were talking about the agents in Cuba and a couple of other places, right, that in their hotels were getting zapped with this stuff, and then they were coming out and having problems, right? So now they're saying, hey, this is being used on the field, and it's hitting our troops.
And it says that the Defense Department had been investigating the incidents, including those targeting its personnel around the world, since last year, according to 4 former national security officers directly involved in the probe. Pentagon officials informed at least 2 groups of lawmakers earlier this year in written form and in person about the investigation. Politico spoke with congressional officials who were briefed on the suspected attacks as part of their oversight duties of the Pentagon. And then what was included on this is that the incidents of suspected direct attacks by Russia on Americans abroad became so concerning that the Pentagon's Office of Special Operations and Low-Intensity Conflict began investigating last year, according on 2 former national security officials involved in its effort. It's unclear exactly how many troops were injured or the extent of their injuries. So everybody's pointing to Russia as the bad guy. One thing that I really want to talk about is something that is going to affect the entire globe. I don't think people realize, again, I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, it's just all one big show. You may be very right, and I don't think you will want to be right. So there's something that we are going to talk about. We are doing an event. I'll say it's an event on a place called D-Live. And we're going to talk about it and go into certain parts of the United Nations plan. So that's happening 9 years from now, or they say in 9 years it will drastically change our planet. It will change our people, and they basically said that they are completely devoted to the implementation of the plan. So we're going to talk about that in detail. We're going to read you parts. A lot of people say, oh, I know about this, but they actually have not read through it. So we're picking out some parts that we think absolutely every human being should see. Imagine saying that we will work tirelessly, out of quote, to end extreme poverty, hunger, everything in the entire world, all inequalities, everything environmentally, everything economically. How in the world would you do that in 9 years? a very, very drastic plan, and they say everyone is signed on. So make sure to join us for this. If you don't know how, go to marfooglenews.com. In fact, there is a simple button. Just go to the main channel or main marfooglenews.com, and you'll see 2 buttons there. Watch here, watch here. Of course, you'll want to see that. In fact, it's up at the top for today. It is right there, blazing. The blue button, click that, and it will take you right there. Again, we have a little bit more freedom. So we're going to do that. Everybody, thank you for showing up here. We're going to be updating this as it goes. I have an extremely odd feeling about the next couple months here. Dex, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely, brother.
And we'll see you over there in just a little bit. We will announce the time. We're actually going to try to do it at basically ASAP, but it probably will take us a few minutes to change things over. If you are watching a replay of this video, again, go to the website. You should see some sort of thumbnail there for it, and we'll make sure to put the only in there so you can watch the replay over there. Again, thank you guys. Please be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.